Hello nerds, welcome back to the NerdNest. I've got really interesting news for you today, all about an event that's happening next month involving Microsoft, Valve, Lenovo, AMD, probably more. That is incredibly interesting to me. But before we get into it, I just wanted to let everybody know, in this video, you're gonna see B-roll from a bunch of different indie games. And if anything jumps out at you as, holy cow, that game looks awesome, look in the lower left of the screen and you will see the name of the game. So if something jumps out at you, add it to your wish list. There's a lot of games that are on sale right now. And if there's something that you think that deserves to get a little spotlight, let me know in the comments down below. Let's get started. Let's kick things off with CES, which is happening in less than a month. If you don't know, CES is the Consumer Electronics Show. And it happens every single year around this time. And this year, Lenovo is hosting a special event that they just announced. And that special event is called Lenovo Legion Cross AMD, the future of gaming handhelds. And this is exciting to me for a couple of reasons. Number one, I love the Lenovo Legion Go. I think the Lenovo Legion Go is a really great system. And anytime that I want to use Windows on a handheld, that is the go-to system for me. In fact, anytime that I want to use a handheld and I want to play a Game Pass game, that is the system that I reach for. And the reason that I reach for it is because of that huge 8.8-inch screen. It just makes it so much easier to deal with Windows. Any other device, I install SteamOS, but I just hold on to the Legion Go as a Game Pass machine if I'm playing handheld instead of playing on my Xbox. And I say this as somebody who mostly, I don't really talk about the Legion Go very much, but I am a big fan of it. And they're not sponsoring this video, but this video does have a sponsor, and that's coming up right now. Hey guys, what are you up to?
We're playing Marvel Rivals. We need a tank. Get online.
Oh,
they're flanking us.
I uninstalled it.
What? Why'd you do that?
I don't know. I had to make room for some other stuff, and I just haven't gotten around to reinstalling it yet.
Well, reinstall it. We're getting wrecked. This guy's terrible.
All right,
is taking him so
give me
long?
a second.
1 hour later.
Okay, I got it. Somebody invite me.
Never mind, Bill. We're good. We taught this guy how to tank. See ya.
Ouch. The longer you have your handheld PC, the more you're going to realize that the battery life isn't really the huge issue. The huge issue is when we constantly have to juggle our storage around. Games just keep getting bigger, and I cannot tell you how many times I've had to re-download games that I've previously uninstalled just to make room for something else, and downloading games from Steam can take a really long time. That's where the Genki Save Point comes in. The Save Point is an SSD enclosure designed for systems like the Steam Deck. It can come pre-installed with Windows if you want to run Windows on your Steam Deck, or you can install Bazzite on it so that you can run Linux on your ROG Ally like I do. You can even attach it to your handheld with this little magnetic ring so you don't have to have anything dangling down. But what I like to use it for is for storing big games that I don't always want to keep installed. All you have to do is plug it in with the included 100 gigs per second cord, and then you can swap your games around ridiculously quickly. It has 2 ports on it, one for data and the other is a pass-through charger so that you can charge your deck during the transfer. I'm using their 100-watt flat wall charger to charge my deck right now while I transfer my games over. It has a short circuit protection, temperature protection, surge protection, plus it can charge 2 of your favorite USB-C devices at the same time, and it's flat, so it doesn't take up much room in your bag. And speaking of bags, both of these items have just earned themselves a permanent spot in my backpack, so that whenever I'm out and about, I can still transfer games if I need to. So if you want to avoid re-downloading the same games over and over and you want to charge your devices at the same time that you grab your backups, then check out the link in the description down below that like button, and a huge thank you to Genki for sponsoring this video. Shortly after the Steam Deck launched, we had Asus jump into the handheld gaming space with the ROG Ally, and shortly thereafter, Lenovo jumped into that space with the Lenovo Legion Go. And then Asus decided to do a follow-up to the ROG Ally with the ROG Ally X, which is an absolutely fantastic device, even better now that I've gotten rid of Windows on it and I'm just using Bazzite, which is a flavor. It's kind of like using SteamOS essentially, but it's by a third party. I'm not going to get into that in this video. After the ROG Ally X was announced, there were rumors that Lenovo was going to release another device as well. And then everything kind of got quiet. We didn't hear anything about Lenovo for quite a long time. But then we had rumors that the Lenovo Legion Go S was on its way out. This is going to be running a different chipset, a cheaper chipset, which means instead of having a $750 price tag, maybe all the way down to $500 or even all the way down to Steam Deck prices like $400. And if that was the case, that was going to be really, really compelling. Now, the big difference between the Lenovo Legion Go and the Legion Go S is, number one, that chipset. The Lenovo Legion Go runs the AMD Z1 Extreme chipset, and it's rumored that the Legion Go S will be running a Z2 chipset, which is actually slower and cheaper than the Z1 Extreme chipset. I know their naming conventions don't make any sense to me either. We've had those rumors hanging around for a bit, and then we had a new rumor that was very interesting for anybody who doesn't like using Windows. Valve updated their brand guidelines. And when they updated their brand guidelines, one of the things that they were pointing out is that they have this new nomenclature called Powered by SteamOS. And they said basically other companies can use Powered by SteamOS as long as they follow these rules. I'm not going to go through the whole rules, but I'll leave a link to the video where I covered this before down below. But two of the rules that have to be adhered to is that it has to have a Steam button and it has to have a quick access menu button. On the Steam Deck, the Steam button is the thing that brings up your left menu, and the quick access menu button is the thing that brings up your right menu. And basically they're saying, hey, if you want to use SteamOS, then when the customer buys this device, they have to be able to turn it on, boot straight into SteamOS, and it has to have the same kind of buttons that we're saying. They don't have to have trackpads, but they do have to have a Steam button and a quick access menu button. And then I think it was 2 weeks after that rumor came out, we saw leaked images of the Lenovo Legion Go S. And there were two versions of it. One version that had just the regular buttons that we had already seen before, but then there was a second leaked image that showed a Steam button and a quick access menu button, which led everybody, myself included, to believe that, all right, we're going to be getting a Lenovo Legion Go S launching possibly with SteamOS. I am very excited about that because the more people that get their hands on SteamOS, the more likely it is that it's going to get more widespread adoption, and hopefully I can completely ditch Windows at some point. Well, today we got yet another rumor to support this idea. And that rumor is all about this event that's happening at CES. The Lenovo Legion X AMD, the future of gaming handhelds, is going to have guests. And one of those guests is Pierre-Loup Graffet. If you don't know who Pierre-Loup Graffet is, he is the co-designer of the Steam Deck, the co-designer of SteamOS. AMD and Lenovo call him Valve's chief design architect. So if he's going to be at this event with Lenovo and AMD, I think it's safe to say all of the rumors and speculation that we've had over the last month and a half, they all have to be right. Like I would bet money that we will see a Lenovo Legion Go S for sale with SteamOS. And we would probably also have one that ships with Windows so that you, the person who is buying it, get to make that decision. Which one do you want to buy? Now, why do I think that we would also have Windows? Well, two reasons. Number one, we also saw the leaked Lenovo Legion Go S that didn't have the Steam button or the quick access menu button. So if you buy one that comes with SteamOS, you get the one with those buttons. If you buy the Windows version, then you don't get those buttons. That's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong about that, but that's what I'm thinking. Now, the other reason that I think that this is likely the case is because Pierre-Loup Graffet is not the only guest that's going to be at this event. Another person who's going to be there is Jason Ronald. If you don't know who that is, he is Microsoft's Vice President of Xbox Gaming Devices and Ecosystem, and he's going to be introduced as Microsoft's VP of the next generation. Now, because Jason Ronald is going to be there, I think a lot of people are assuming that we're also going to get the much rumored Xbox handheld unveiled there as well. I'm a little more skeptical on this. Phil Spencer has said publicly that they're a long way off from being ready to talk about shipping an Xbox handheld. And even if they did, I personally don't think it makes a whole lot of sense to ship an Xbox handheld. I think it makes way more sense at this point, now that handheld PCs have taken off and Microsoft's Xbox brand is almost kind of in the tanker right now. I think it makes a lot more sense for them to just ship a Windows handheld. You could still call it an Xbox handheld because it's going to play all of the Xbox games, but it should run Windows. And the reason why it would make more sense for it to run Windows is because then you can run other stores on it as well. You know, you can run Steam, the Epic Game Store, GOG, you know, all of the different stores you could run on this device. A lot of people are assuming that Microsoft is going to unveil something like that there. I don't think that that's going to happen, but what I do think could happen is one of those things where we've had these ad campaigns that Microsoft has been running. This is an Xbox, this is an Xbox, this is a bento box, this is also an Xbox, you know, that thing. I think that we'll see on stage where they'll say, by the way, this Lenovo Legion Go S is an Xbox. This Lenovo Legion Go with the more rounded corners and the OLED screen, this is an Xbox. And it's a very, very small possibility that they could also point at a SteamOS device and say, this is an Xbox. Ever since the Steam Deck got announced, people have been asking for Game Pass on SteamOS. Microsoft was very quick to respond to that by giving us access to my xCloud, or Xbox Cloud Gaming as they call it, ditching the perfectly wonderful name of xCloud. And they gave a complete guide for how to set up xCloud on SteamOS. And it worked fine, even though it was kind of a weird workaround where you're just playing in a browser. But that's not really what people wanted. I'm sure that satisfied some people. But I think what most people really wanted is a way to link their Steam account with their Xbox account. So if they paid for Game Pass, then those games would also be available to them in Steam. And if Microsoft, I think that this is a very, very small chance that this could happen. Microscopic chance that this could happen. But if Microsoft comes to this event, they get up on stage with Lenovo and Valve, and they say, by the way, we are now bringing Game Pass to Steam. Holy shit, the house is coming down. People are going to lose their minds. And I think that would really cement SteamOS as the best way to play games on your handhelds. Of course, I have a whole lot of bias, but that's okay. Here's the full description of the event, which I found over at The Verge. Join us for a cocktail reception hosted by Lenovo Legion and AMD gaming leaders with special guests, Valve, and other gaming industry giants. We'll be sharing our thoughts on what lies ahead in the gaming handheld space and showcasing our latest Lenovo Legion Go innovations advanced by AMD. Come to hear how Lenovo Legion and AMD Ryzen are making gaming more immersive for all, and stay to experience the future of handheld gaming firsthand. So, I gotta be honest, I'm really sad about this. And the reason I'm really sad about this is because I've had a whole bunch of different companies reach out to me and ask me, hey, are you going to be at CES? We'd love to meet you. We'd love to have you come to our booth and talk to us about stuff. And I have to tell all of them no, because my day job is I'm a teacher and CES is during the school week. So I cannot fly across the country to go check out CES. But I've got some good news for you. For those of you who are unaware, I host a podcast right here on the YouTube channel. Subscribe if you've never checked it out, because you'll get notifications and then you can check it out. And each week we do an episode about video game news. And there's 4 people on the show: myself, Rich, aka Fan the Deck, Carrie, aka The Fox, and Russ, aka Retro Game Core. And I've got real good news for you. Retro Game Core, he is going to CES this year. Not only is he going to CES, but he got a ticket to go to the Lenovo Legion and AMD event, which means he's going to get to be getting some hands-on time with the future of handheld gaming. I mean, that's what it says right at the end. Stay to experience the future of handheld gaming firsthand. So we absolutely 100% have got to be getting hands-on with the Lenovo Legion Go S and the other Lenovo Legion Go that supposedly is shipping with an OLED screen and more rounded corners to be a little bit more comfortable. So Russ is going to be there, and I'm sure that he will come on a future episode of the NerdNest podcast and tell us all about his experience with that. You know, just in case you want to make absolutely sure you don't miss it, you subscribe to him as well, because I'm sure that he'll put out a video over on his channel too. But what do you all think? Let me know in the comments section down below. Do you think we're going to get a SteamOS powered Lenovo Legion Go S or OLED Legion Go? Do you think that we'll get Windows on both of those devices as well? Will it be up to the consumer? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, if it's your first time here, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. And until next time, stay rad, everybody. Bye-bye.